let's talk about Dark Souls. A masterfully created game series with mind-bogglingly huge maps, stunning graphics, incredibly insane difficulty, and absolutely stunning combat. Very responsive and far ahead of its time. Now, today, it's with genuine pleasure that I like to give you some tutorials on the 4th installment of the franchise. Now you might be shaking your head saying, what? There is no 4th Dark Souls. But you'd be dead wrong. You see, FromSoft actually outsourced the development process for it to a small India studio called MDHR. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. And in an even more confusing move, the studio went totally off the rails with naming schemes, titling their spiritual successor to the Dark Souls series not Dark Souls 4, but instead Cuphead. Now I know what you're thinking. Most incredulous hacks will tell you that the games are nothing alike, but really, most of the gameplay and visual elements are inspired by Dark Souls, most strikingly in the Phantom Express, clearly inspired by the common enemy in Dark Souls known only as the Ghost Train. If you never encountered a Ghost Train in your Dark Souls playthrough, did you ever really play Dark Souls? I don't think so. Anyway, without further ado, let's get to these tutorials. Let me clarify, they are put in an order of my personal difficulty with them, and I hope you benefit a lot for them. Enjoy. Starting us off at number 1 is Goopy Le Grande. And our loadout is going to want to be Roundabout, Spread, Super 1, and Smoke Bomb. So this phase is basically going to be the exact same as it would be in regular mode. It's just using Roundabout when you're far away, Spread when you're up close, ducking under his face shoot punch attack thing. Parry all 3 of those question marks. That's very important. You need all 3 for the S rank. And I recommend hitting him with a super whenever you can, just like you saw. Yeah. Exact same behaviors, just a bigger hitbox in phase 2. Really nothing to be concerned about, just be sure you're using your smoke bomb to your advantage. Yeah. On to phase 3, which I think might even be easier than phases 1 and 2. Just shoot up at Goopy with Spread. Know that every second time you pass beneath the tombstone, that it's going to slam down on you. You can try to time those Spread EXs like I tried to. I messed it up, but if you can get that timing down right, it should put this phase out of the way even quicker. And there you have it. There is Goopy Le Grande S ranked. Another unsurprising placement on this list is the Root Pack at number 2. Their loadout's going to be Roundabout, Lobber, Super 1, and Smoke Bomb. We start off against Sal Sputter here. All it entails is using Roundabout to hit him and getting your parries from those pink worms. Jump over the dirt balls. Since this is a tutorial boss, basically, there's not much of a step up in difficulty. The dirt balls are just faster. As we move on to phase 2 here, load in some of that lobber damage onto Ollie. That'll put the phase away pretty quick. Similarly, use your super when you have the chance. When dodging the tears, I suggest using Roundabout because that guarantees you hitting since the shots curve. And now that we're on to Chauncey, again, load in that damage with Lobber, pretty useful. Use the Lob EX shots too, otherwise in this phase I recommend sticking with Roundabout, because it just has better range and can one-shot those carrot missiles too. Lingers on screen for a long time, which is really nice. Yeah, Smoke Bomb out of the way of the side beams, and you put the Root Pack away just like that. Now this placement may surprise you. King Dice at number 3. We're going to use the same loadout as we did on Goopy, Roundabout, Spread, Super 1, and Smoke Bomb. Now I have a particular way I like to do this fight. I like to fight the tipsy troop first. That's by hitting a 1 on that die. against these guys, what you're gonna want to do is start by using spread on the shot class guy, and it's basically just pattern recognition. You gotta know what each of their tells are and what their attacks do. Yeah, so once you dodge the shot class once, he should be taken care of. The Martini's olives go down in one hit of roundabout, so I recommend using that for once you've taken out the shot class. And this last guy here, just know his tell. When his eyes get all crazy like that, dash out of the way. And there you go. Tipsy Troop goes down just like that. After this, we're going to want to hit a 3 to get us onto that safe space, so we get to fight as few bosses as possible here, just to make it easier on ourselves. Then we hit a 2, because we want to fight Hoppus Pocus. This guy may seem intimidating, but since we have Smoke Bomb equipped, the fight is fairly trivialized. Since we have that super ready, I like to use that right here. Otherwise, stick with Roundabout. Smoke Bomb out of the skull attack every time. Super easy. And yeah, you should be well acquainted with parrying by now. So with the suits, find the pink suit and just parry it as it's on its way up or down. Yeah, the rest of the fight, it's literally just smoke bombing and parrying. That's it. All there is to it. Here I stopped shooting for a little bit, because this is the only fight where you can get parries that will contribute to your parry meter from. So I wanted to make sure I got 3, because I didn't want to end the fight too soon. There I actually got 4. I think I stopped shooting for a little too long, but there you go. Hoppus Pocus goes right on down. After Hoppus Pocus, we're going to want to hit a 3 again. This will bring us to Relyea, who without Smoke Bomb, again, is a fairly challenging boss, actually, probably the hardest of all of them. However, with Smoke Bomb, she is without a doubt the easiest. It's absurd. You Smoke Bomb through literally every single one of her attacks while using Roundabout, and it is of no challenge whatsoever. It is ridiculously easy. You Smoke Bomb through her while she's roaming about the arena, and you Smoke Bomb through the balls that fall in that kind of, if you play Hollow Knight, that kind of Elder Who pattern. And yeah, literally super easy. She goes down so quickly. And after Relyea, we get to take on the king himself, first by hitting a 3 to get on that safe spot, and once again by rolling a 2 to hit the finale spot. And here I like to just stick with spread shot. Yeah, this again just relies on parrying. Use that super if you got it. If you know how to parry, this phase should be of no challenge to you. And at this point in the game, you should know how to parry. Parry, yeah. I unfortunately messed that up there. I used my EX a little rashly. Luckily, you should be getting an extra hit point from at least one of these fights you do. Yeah. So you can probably spare that on the last phase there. There you go. Number 4, I have Vermin. Werner is going to demand Lob Shot, Spread, Super 1, and Smoke Bomb. First phase, I like to just stick with Lobber, just so you can kind of keep your distance and still get very big damage on it. The Trebuchet, get as many parries as you can, because there's no parries in the second phase, and nothing is really guaranteed in that last phase. So as you can see, I got all 3 of my parries from that very first attack. The cherry bombs, just know that they're gonna explode in that pattern where it shoots 2 little fires out of the way on the floor, and you'll be fine. Here, it's just a matter of staying on the opposite level as Werner, while also perhaps dodging from side to side. Using that super whenever you get the chance. Yeah, phase 2, be using spread shot. Phase 3, also use spread shot. Against the Katzenwagen, be using that spread EX as frequently as possible to get really big damage. Yeah, the tell for the paw is pretty clear. Stay on the other side. I like to smoke bomb past the shrapnel, just as a matter of precaution to not take that damage. And yeah, goes down pretty quick. At number 5, I have seeded Sally Stage Play. For her, we're going to want to use that original loadout of Roundabout, Spread, Super 1, and Smoke Bomb. Phase 1, there's a good number of attacks, but none of them are incredibly challenging to dodge. Only use Roundabout here. So yeah, just dodge out of the way when she does her drop kick. Use Smoke Bomb to dodge whenever she does that like teleport drop thing. Try and lure the fan as far away from her as you can. Yeah, Smoke Bomb is going to be used very much to your advantage here. Get as many parries as you can too. That's why we're only using Roundabout, to almost de-optimize that damage so she does as many parryable attacks in that first phase as possible. Phase 2, we're going to want to switch over to using Spread when we're close, Roundabout only when we're far away. Unload that super as soon as you can. I find that puts this phase away pretty quickly. The rats and the baby bottles, honestly, I frequently just kind of ignore. They never pose a huge threat. Phase 3, I just sit under her and shoot up with spread shot. Because since we have Smoke Bomb equipped, there's really nothing that's gonna be a huge problem about sitting underneath her, because we have that invincible dodge that just, you know, makes dodging or staying in a safe space pretty trivial. I like to unload my super in this last phase too. Keep in mind that you're probably only going to have gotten 2 parries in that first phase, so yeah, look for those parryable roses here. For the rest of the phase, just shoot up at her with spread, jumping and dodging over the umbrella, and there you go. Sally is done. At number 6 on my list, I have Cagney Carnation. For Cagney, I use Roundabout, Spread, Super 3, and Astral Cookie. This is the first time we're going to use Chalice. I find that her dash parry really helps with parrying that pink seed that he likes to throw at us in this first phase. Basically, the first phase, notice the seeds coming from up top. If you need to go underneath the platforms to dodge the seedlings, don't be afraid to. Also, yeah, unload that super as soon as you can at every point that you can. Yeah, that dash parry really helps with getting that pink seed. Yeah, use Spread whenever he shoots his face like that and becomes Mr. Burns. You can jump or duck under the boomerang bloom thing. Yeah, double jump over the heat seekers, I find, is more useful. Dash. Again, we have that one hit point of grace with Miss Chalice, which is really nice for S ranking. So yeah, this last phase is pretty darn easy. Again, her parry dash helps with getting those parries, and her double jump actually allows for a lot more mobility when jumping over the roots. At number 7, I have placed Glumstone the Giant. For him, I like to use Crackshot, Roundabout, Super 1, and Smoke Bomb. First phase, you have to use Crackshot. I don't know how you couldn't. It's super useful for dealing with the ads. They otherwise make it next to impossible. Those gnomes that pop out of the ground, super frustrating. And with Crackshot, they get taken out really easily because it's like a homing shot, and they don't move. Yeah, so for the potion, just parry. You saw the geese attack, get on a platform that's not moving. If it does happen to move, know that you can stay on the spike trap for just a little bit, so long as you are moving. So if you need to get to a different platform, you know, just be quick on the ground. Yeah, the bear attack, you can just dash right through. And as we move on here, I like to use a Roundabout in this phase, because there's hitboxes on each side of you. And most most of what this phase boils down to is using Smoke Bomb to mediate the chaos here, because there's just so much stuff that's flying around. Yeah, just Smoke Bomb out of the way of the ball if you notice it's gonna hit you. And yeah, just keep an eye on those gnomes that pop out of the ground, because there's so many of them. Phase 3, the final phase, switch back to Crack Shot. Makes it a lot easier on you since the hitbox is above you. Keep an eye out for the dart throwing gnomes. Also know that every time Glumstone's stomach ulcer thing spits a bone, just a bare bone with no chicken on it or anything, that is going to turn into a parryable platform. Other than that, yeah, unload that super when you have the chance to make sure you're getting all 6 notches on the super meter, and there's nothing much more to it than that. Number 8 is the Baroness von Bonbon. I like to use Roundabout, Lobber, Super 1, and Smoke Bomb. I'm gonna just be covering the bosses that showed up for me. These guys do tend to be the easier ones. I got kind of lucky here. Literally, for the Jawbreaker, just lure it in a circle. That is it. Use your Roundabout and lure it in a circle. Now, between every minion, I like to load in that Lobber damage like you've seen me doing before. Since it lingers on screen for so long, you can load up some big damage before the phases even start. Against the gumball machine, move back and forth using Roundabout to dodge the gumballs that are like randomly generated. Against the Candy Dorn, just, Smoke Bomb when you need to. You can do that right through him. And you can use your hold button to get that more accuracy with Roundabout. And as we move on here, unload your super first thing into the Baroness is what I like to do. I also like to unload at least one other EX move to make sure that I'm getting all 6 notches on my parry meter. Now with her head, what I like to do is I like to lure it between the bottom left corner and the floating platform is what works best for me. Also know that you can parry the peppermint boulders and you'll be just fine with this S rank. Number 9, I have the Moonshine Mob. Against the Moonshine Mob, I like to use Roundabout, Spread, Super 1, and Smoke Bomb. Against the Flying Gentleman, I tend to stay one platform above or below him while spraying him with Spread. So he'll drop a lot of bombs. Just keep that in mind. You can clear him out just by dashing through them. What I like to do to deal with the caterpillar is actually trigger a bomb to blow it up, because the bombs actually damage him, which is really cool. That's a strategy that I might want to try for a challenge. The ads are get one shot by Roundabout bullets, so I don't need to worry about those guys. For the light phase, I never realized that you could cheese it when I was doing my S rank, so I did a slightly less goofy version of it. So what I do is I smoke bomb through the red rays of music, and I shoot up at her with Spread and try and take out any of the little ads at the bottom. Other than that, it's not much to deal with. I still think it's really cool that they brought this and Flying Gentleman back from unused, scrapped bosses. Here, I like to unload my super onto the snail boss. Then here it's just a matter of dodging and parrying. Whenever that tongue comes down, parry it 3 times. Police balls take, I want to say, like 3 hits from Roundabout to take out, so it's not a huge deal. Just always be conscious of that tongue. If it's ever not on your level, if it's on like the second level, shoot up at it with Spread. That'll get some good damage on it. Other than that, not much to deal with here. Just have some patience, and this phase goes down quickly. don't fall for the fake knockout. Don't do it. You know how this works. Hit the snail with one last super. And there you go. There's a Moonshine Mob. S ranked. Number 10, I am going to place Captain Briny Beard. Here I like to use Crack Shot, Spread, Super 1, and Smoke Bomb. This fight is all about combos. Don't get screwed up by his combos. Lure the barrel in the middle. Always trigger it in the middle. The far left and far right of your screen is where you're going to want to be staying for most of the fight. Whenever he's not shooting you with his like, I don't know, what is that, octopus gun thing, be jumping and shooting at him with Spread. Also know the sea creatures that he summons, shoot up at the squid with Spread. Just avoid the shark, and with the dogfish, stay on the far left of the screen and just shoot forward with Crack Shot. Know that you can get a lot of parries. They're not going to be in high demand in this fight. It's going to be super easy to get them, so there's no real concern about that. Always be jumping over those cannonballs with the ship spits. Their tells are pretty darn obvious, so they shouldn't cause too much trouble. Duck under the lasers, what I like to do. If the barrel is going to hit you, just use that smoke bomb to stay ducked and dodge it. Other than that, yeah, just smoke bomb right on through the bubbles that the ship's uvula spits. That's not a sentence I planned on saying. But other than that, yeah, just repeat the dodges for the behaviors here. And there you go. Briny Beard and his ship S-ranked. I place Ribby and Croaks all the way up here at number 11, believe it or not. I think they're pretty tough to S-rank. I use Roundabout, Super 1, Spread, and Smoke Bomb. I start in the first phase just using Roundabout. I like to jump when there's attack downtime, just to put like a full spread of Roundabout across the screen to clear out those fireflies for when I am dodging Ribby's Hadouken attacks. Also, use the double hitbox to your advantage here. The Roundabout EX move is kind of broken against these guys because it slows down every time it hits a hitbox, and there's 2 hitboxes there, so it's going to get that maximum 8 hits of damage every time you use it in that first phase. Here, employ that same jump duck strategy for the Hadoukens you saw me employing earlier. Other than that, yeah, hit Croaks with Spread when you can, otherwise just be using Roundabout. Okay, now, final phase. The coins are not as hard to dodge as you think. It's just jump, go under, jump, go under. That's the pattern for them. The bull is probably the easiest platform attack. It's literally just standing in the back and shooting backwards with Roundabout. That's it. That's, you jump when you need to, and nothing more. I would say that this big cat attack is probably the second easiest to dodge. It's just this pattern of weaving and jumping through the bouncy balls and the platforms. You saw me use my super. That's kind of a risky strategy, but if you need the super meter, use it. Number 12, I place Rumor Honeybottoms. For Rumor, I like to use Crack Shot, Roundabout, Super 1, and Astral Cookie. Another fight with Miss Chalice. Miss Chalice makes parrying these the stingers from like the policeman's splinter grenade thing a lot easier, I find. Since you don't have to worry about like jumping and losing that parry by accidentally landing on a platform you didn't know was going to be there. Yeah, I like to use Crack Shot here. Focus more on dodging and parrying than on actually hitting, because Crack Shot's going to just do that for you. Yeah, I like to unload my super when I have that chance in the second phase, because you just want to deplete that health bar of Rumor herself. Lead the pink sphere in a circle is what I like to do. Know that you can dash through this chain area. She does the bullet bill attack. Otherwise, just be dodging or jumping or ducking to get away from those bullet bills. The ethereal triangle, I like to lead it one direction and then just move lower. Alright, now we're on to this phase transition. Unload as many EXs as you can. We want to shorten that last phase as much as possible. The last phase, what you can do actually is one strategy I recently discovered, or kind of learned. Again, notice that grace with being able to take that one hit and still have 3 HP. Very nice. I like to use crack shot, but also use roundabout when I can. You can do this thing where you can actually shoot up with roundabout, and it's gonna just loop back around and hit her right in the face, so you don't have to worry about pressing that hold button or accidentally dropping down and taking damage from hitting her instead. And yeah, there you go. Rumor Hottie Bottoms is S-ranked. At number 13, I place the Howling Aces. Against them, I like to use Roundabout, Crackshot, Super 1, and Astral Cookie. Against the Rolento Dog, I like to use Roundabout when he's like on the same level as me, and Crackshot when he's in his plane. Yeah, so duck under the yarn balls, that should be pretty standard procedure. Also, get as many parries as you can from like his bone to 2 attack. Other than that, honestly, I think the biggest challenge is dodging the tennis balls that the Yankee Yippers throw at you. Sure, it's sort of like a matter of chance, but also, it becomes sort of second nature once you just do this with practice. Second phase, I think, is very, very easy. I just use Roundabout and try and keep the plane as centered as I can, parrying whatever bow wows that I can. Other than that, just jumping over them. That's it. Yeah, the Yankee Yippers are not a huge challenge. And once this guy goes down, let me tell you about Phase 3. Phase 3 is all about maneuvering this plane. Also, with that ground laser, I find that her parry dash, Chalice's parry dash, makes it very hard to get to actually parry it. So instead, I just like to use my double jump and dash to improve that airtime and get over it. Yeah, unload that super when you have the chance, when the Saluki reveals herself. Yeah, also, when you're sideways, just remember, red bowls go low, yellow bowls go high. Yeah, you can unload some EXs if you have them available too. And there you go. Yeah. Good. Number 14, I would say it belongs to Beppy the Clown. I like to use Roundabout, Lobber, Super 1, and Smoke Bomb against Beppy. Beppy's first phase, I just use Roundabout, occasionally jumping to clear out the duck decoys. Other than that, jump and dash over his like super speed bumper car thing. And that should be taken care of pretty quick. Again, employ the strategy of loading in that lobber damage, super useful. Get 1 or 2 upper EXs in this phase, I recommend. But otherwise, be using Roundabout. Also, be getting the parries from the noses of the train. That is going to help you a lot in terms of parrying, because it's a super readily accessible and very easy parry to hit. Phase 3, yeah, know the behaviors of the horseshoes. The yellow ones kind of form that pattern and strike down. The green ones do the kind of sine wave type thing. When the train's not going by, just sit under Beppy, using your high DPS lob shot, maybe unload an EX move or 2, and yeah, just be conscious of that train. Be sure not to get stuck underneath him. And load in that lobber damage for this final phase too. Gonna help out, and by the time you do that, your super should be ready. Unload that on him. Yeah, get to work here. Just use precision jumps to stay on the flying swings. And once he spits the penguins, what I like to do is I like to clear out one side of them, just to like give myself much more of a safe space. Also, once they do like one volley of baseballs, I like to drop down, so that way I'm like safe from that volley, and then I can jump back up and be safe from the volley they'll throw at me while I'm on the ground. And there's Beppy the Clown S ranked. Number 15 on my list is Grimm Matchstick. With Grimm, I like to use Roundabout, Lobber, Super 1, Smoke Bomb. To start us off, I like to stick with Roundabout in this first phase. Get as many parries as you can. These beams that he shoots out of his eyes are pretty easy to parry. The tail, try and keep it to one side of the screen, like either the left or the right. I kind of let it go up in the middle there, but it's not a huge deal. The sine wave patterns of the comets should be pretty predictable. If you need to use a smoke bomb to dodge, absolutely do that. It can be a little risky on moving platforms, but still, yeah. If you want to try and get a few lobber shots in here too, you can do that. For phase 2, I flip over to lobber. I think it's made easier by the opposite direction moving platforms. Yeah, just listen for the audio tells of those little fireballs. Otherwise, just stick with lobber and move forward. Pretty much getting a hit on him every time. Yeah, phase 3, at the very beginning, I like to unload my super. Yeah, just notice the fireballs. Their tells are very subtle. So I do recommend just being very vigilant. Unloading some EXs over that flamethrower attack, and you should be done with the fight pretty quickly after that. Number 16 on my list is the Phantom Express. I find this to be a pretty hard S rank. I use Roundabout, Spread, Super 1, and Parry Sugar since this fight is so reliant on parry. Against the Blind Spectre, I just do quick small jumps while aiming the other way with Roundabout that clears the eyeballs pretty easily, and also does some good damage on the guy too. Always parry the little pink, ingots that the pumpkins drop, just to make sure that your card's not moving. Also gets your super meter up, or parry meter up very quickly. I like to use my hold function on my roundabout shot to clear away any pumpkins that might accidentally move the cart during the conductor phase. And otherwise I like to shoot up at him with Spread for big damage, and that phase is done with pretty quickly. Against the Blaze Brothers, to begin with, I like to use my Super 1 to hit both of them at the same time. You can actually do that. That way, you can take out each of them pretty quick. I like to get as many parries from these skulls that come out of these ghosts as I possibly can, to load up, hopefully to get a super before the beginning of the final phase here against the engine. I like to use my super once I open the heart up for that first time. Actually, I like to stick with Roundabout in this phase, because Spread involves getting too close and putting yourself at risk for getting hit by those fireballs. Know that the Bone Ring is gonna kind of do a horizontal track of you. Once it reaches you, it's gonna go towards you. But other than that, dodge the fireballs, dodge the Bone Ring, you'll be fine. Number 17, I place the Devil. Yes, the Devil himself. For the big D, I like to use Roundabout, Spread, Super 1, and Smoke Bomb. Phase 1, during any attack downtime, be jumping and using Spread. For the Spider, I like to use Roundabout when he's off screen, and Spread when he's right next to me for that additional damage. The Roundabout should take care of any henchmen too, by the way. So for the goat attack, I like to jump and dash just to you know, prolong my airtime, make sure I don't take any unwanted damage. For this spawn of 5 flames, I like to immediately parry that middle flame, and then kind of lure it to the one side and just kind of keep it there. For this dragon morph attack, just move the opposite direction of it, and use roundabout, and then use spread once it's got you all the way in the corner. And there you go, phase 1 is over. Phase 2, I like to stay on the platform we start off with, unload my super as soon as possible. With the axe attack, I like to get over to the far left side of the screen and then immediately move back in. That gets that out of the way pretty quickly. Smoke bomb out of the way of any poker chips if you have to. Otherwise, if you don't have to smoke bomb, don't. That puts you at risk of like falling into any sort of pit, which you don't want to do because that makes you take damage. Also, the devil's eyes are like an open hitbox here, so you can get all 8 hits of that spread EX, which is super nice. Also, be conscious of those blue bats in the second phase. Aim your way at them. This last phase, parry the tier, get out of the way, and you're done. That's it. Boom. Also, take care of that henchman in phase 2 whenever you have the chance. You guys, we made it to my most favorite boss in the game, Mortimer Freeze. Against Morty, I like to use roundabout, spread, super 1, and smoke bomb. Phase 1 involves, you know, hitting him in attack downtime with whatever shot you want. For the icicle attack, I like to get right underneath him when he does his tell, and then dash out of the way to keep all 4 icicles on one side of me, just so they're easier to clear and dodge. The whale, just dash out of the way. The tarot cards attack, again, just move out of the way. Parry if it's parryable, if not, don't parry, obviously. Now we're on to phase 2. Phase 2, sword attack, jump and dash over. The rolls and jumps, when he kind of bounces, he's gonna jump. If he stays low, he's gonna roll. Simple as that. Ice cubes, always get where the ice cube just landed, because they're splitting into 2 and the 2 are going opposite directions. And you're gonna be just fine if you go where it just landed. Now, the final snowflake phase. Dash through the eye laser. Smoke bomb makes dodging it a heck of a lot easier. Against the snow cones, always be jumping, makes it so much easier on you to dodge. Again, dash through that eyes laser with smoke bomb. Unload your super whenever possible in this fight. That's just a rule of thumb for most fights. Yeah, parry that bucket. It's a lot easier when it's up top, but either way, always be parrying it. Super useful. And yeah, use roundabout in this phase, and you should be getting very consistent hits, and it goes down pretty easy. Unsurprisingly, on this list, number 19 goes to Chef Salt Baker. I use crack shots, roundabout, super 1, astral cookie. This is all about recognizing those patterns for the projectiles. Know that the limes are gonna boomerang back at a different height. The sugars do like a sine wave pattern. Some are parryable. The animal crackers, you can destroy them, and they do kind of parabolic jumps. And know that, like, also the little fires, they kind of take a reversed parabola path, just down to where you are. The strawberries, they take a 45-degree angle down. All this time, you should be using crack shot and using that super whenever you get the chance, and whenever it's safe, because remember, you don't have iframes after it, so if you don't think it's safe, don't use it. Phase 2, I like to switch over to roundabout. Absolutely neglect the 2 pepper shakers on top. I don't care about it. I don't care about them at all. I mean, obviously, pay attention to the projectiles they're shooting, but don't try and kill them. Doesn't matter. Stay between the leaves of mint. Other than that, use your dodge roll. Use your dodge roll all the time here. That is going to be super useful for getting past these little fires if they're ever in your way. Get parries if you need them. You probably won't, because the first phase gives you a lot of opportunities as well. And boom, there you go. On to phase 3, which is my least favorite phase. This phase, we fight the salt clone guys, dash underneath them. You need to, yeah, dash between them and the saws. Sometimes that'll happen. If it does, yeah, just pick your dash to cancel your jump when appropriate. Phase 3, yeah, we should have reverted back to Crackshot, so now on to phase 4. We're still using Crackshot. The homing is super nice for this constantly moving guy. It's obviously not going to hit every time, but it makes it a lot easier on you. Get those parries if you want. I think they do some damage to him, so they can be useful. Yeah, I find that Chalice's increased mobility helps you win that fight a lot easier. And with that, I'd say our hardest S rank is done. Now I would like to extend a big thanks to everybody who stuck around to the end of this video. I really hope it was informative and helpful. If you enjoyed it, you could consider, you know, giving me a little subscription, since it's free, you know. Might help me out a little. But beyond that, big special thanks to someone who I'm a fan of, Relyea. Go check him out. Thanks to him for allowing me to use some of his Dark Souls footage for my stupid little bit at the beginning of this video, since I have not played the game myself. Beyond that, thanks for sticking around, and I may or may not see you next time.